one hurdle for me was I'm not perfect and I'm doing all this bad stuff. And if I'm going to accept Islam and all my sins are forgiven, and then I'm going to go do something again the next day. And I had this mindset of I need to stop sinning to accept Islam. And one thing that I will say to the day I die is you need to accept Islam to stop sinning, not the other way around. The only one I turn to is Allah. Honestly, I do not ask people for anything anymore. Before I was Muslim, I was like, "Oh, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me?" to every second person. But now the only person I turn to is Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to yet another episode of the Ummah Unplugged podcast. Today we're going international all the way to New Zealand with a brother named Caiden. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, man?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm good.
How's the New Zealand weather treating you?
Honestly, I just flew back up from Queenstown, which is extremely cold. It's like night. It was -7 there, I think, one of the nights when I left. So now Auckland, I really enjoy Auckland weather. It's very, very nice.
Does it get cold there? It snows? Doesn't snow?
Not in Auckland.
No?
No. Queenstown, yes.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
Auckland.
Auckland, yeah. What's it like growing up in New Zealand?
New Zealand is. What do you want to know? Like from I mean, I can talk about New Zealand, but do you mean as in is there much exposure to Islam or?
Yeah, just like because have you been to Australia before?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so comparing where in Australia have you been? Brisbane, yeah. So comparing Brisbane to, let's say, Auckland, the environment as let's say the environment
like an Islamic environment.
like an Islamic environment, what's the difference? Is it better, worse? What's it like?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wasn't really exposed to, even when I went to Brisbane. I don't think I remember seeing a single Muslim while I was there. Same thing, even when I was growing up in New Zealand. Maybe I just didn't, because Islam wasn't on my mind. I honestly didn't even really know what Islam was until maybe 2 years before I took my Shahada.
Yeah. Now, because the audience probably don't know you, just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and from there we'll get straight to your Revert story, inshallah.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Caiden. I took my Shahada not last Ramadan, but the Ramadan before. So I think about a year and a half ago now. I am a regular working man, and I am a Muslim. So these guys are gonna ask me about what it's like being a Muslim.
So it's been 2 years now, yeah, roughly.
So
it's been roughly 2 years now.
Yeah, less than 2 years, maybe a year and a half, I would say. I'm very bad with times, but
yeah. You got to Musa Stranger, right?
Yeah.
Did he?
I seen him the other day. I was at Masjid As-Salam, and he was hosting the Mana Islam there.
Yeah, I think he's doing a tour in New Zealand as of now. I think he's still there, isn't he?
Yeah. I seen him.
Yeah. Did he ever influence you in your reversion? Would you say?
Honestly, I didn't know who he was until I think when I started. Because honestly, when I first became Muslim, I wasn't on social media or anything. So I actually didn't have I had an Instagram account, but it had nothing on it and it was blank for like 1 year. And then it was just because I remember when I went to Malaysia on a volunteer mission, we were delivering food aid to Pulau Bumbum and we're raising funds for facilities there. I only hopped on social media just to promote, to raise funds to build the facilities. And then that's when I found out who, he was and all these other Muslim influencers were.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with your reversion story. What was it like to be a revert, or what's your story as a revert?
Okay. I'll try to be very, very quick because I know you guys need to fit everything into short content. So I'll try.
No, you can.
Bro,
You
take
can
your
take
time. Take your time.
Take your
Don't
time.
worry, bro. Don't worry.
We want to hear it all. We want to hear.
You want to hear it all?
Okay. I'll try. When I first started, not first started telling, but when people first started asking, because obviously I'm a white guy in the mosque with a skeleton hand tattoo. Like obviously they want to know how I became a Muslim, right? So I've told this story a few times, but what I've learned over telling it is I shouldn't get into details too much because a lot of it does involve my family, and even if something that I've really been working on lately is I've realized, paradise lies under the feet of the mother, and even if your father is uh, whatever and things like this, you still need to respect him and you need to obey him and you need to take care of him. So when it comes to telling my story, I try not to get into too much specifics, but I'll do my best, inshallah. So
What have
um,
you struggled with?
yeah. So when I was very, very small, I was like 1 year old. Regular, very good life, maybe you would say privileged white kid, very, very nice house in a very nice area. Now, unfortunately, my family had a problem with alcohol, and this led to very extreme family violence and alcoholism. So my family ended up getting separated. Now, over this time of like fighting in court for various issues and stuff like this, my family ended up losing this very nice lifestyle that we once had. So then from there, uh, long story short, through from about my for my whole entire childhood, there was just a lot of domestic violence, a lot of alcoholism, uh, to a very, very bad extent. So when I was 10 years old, one side of my family, the police ended up getting involved and they forcefully removed me from uh, one of the homes, one of my family side. Now, same thing again happened to me when I was 15. I was removed from my family's custody, if you will. Now, from there, because I had grown up in such a destructive, alcoholic, very violent environment, I was already a disruptive kid. So, in terms of I had already been kicked out of school for truancy, the police are showing up to my house. I had already been arrested for a pretty violent crime. And I was, just being an idiot, like breaking into cars and stuff like this. So by the time when I was 15 and I was removed from uh, the other side of my family's house, I was placed into a home where they were very involved with gangs and stuff like this. So because I was already bad, putting me into a house. This is the New Zealand. This is how they operate. The New Zealand government. So they have a child that's naughty. So what they do is they take that child, and they put him in a house that is, very involved with gangs and stuff like this. Great, miraculous idea, right? So after that, I obviously, because my environment is even worse, I started to get into more and more crime and started to get more and more disruptive. So throughout this process, I was like from 15 to 16, I was in and out of the cells, like getting arrested every single week. And then when I had built up such a long list of charges, the the judge said to me, I remember my last one that I was in there for was like, I've still got a 1 inch scar on my knuckle. And it's from like punching a cop's teeth out. Like I was such a wild kid. And even after that, I remember I got out of the cells and then I had court. And I went in front of the judge, and the judge just said, "You know what, Caiden, we're just gonna chuck this. You have such a long list of charges that this is like insignificant. So we're just gonna chuck that into the bunch." But what happens in New Zealand is a youth, even if he has like very, very long list, if he's still in the youth system, then he gets a chance to get a 282 discharge, which means he can get everything wiped away. So pretty much, I got that 282 discharge, and she said, if I ever see you in here again, you're going to go to juvenile detention. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I got the 282 discharge, got everything wiped. I'm clean. I can get a job. I can do something with my life. I'm good as gold. The next week, I got arrested for a double stabbing. And from there, the police like raided our house, then took me to jail. And I was in juvenile detention for like 1 year. And then once I got out of juvenile detention, I was in a like a transitional home for kids that have grown up in the system and whatnot. But the problem with these homes is because they're kids that have grown up in the system, most of them are like affiliated with gangs.
Yeah.
They're selling drugs or doing drugs, this type of stuff. Like even me, I probably got into 3 pretty good fights while I was there. Like I remember one time I got into an argument over, it was like the fridge. I know this is a typical flatmate argument, the fridge, but it was a little bit more serious at this house. So I remember like I told one of the guys, I was like, bro, you ate my food. And and then he like didn't care and he like brushed me off. And I was like having a go with him about it. And he came out the room with a friggin' like a big, those lava lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he like smashed it over my head. Like it was a very like not healthy, nice environment,
Yeah.
So but don't worry, he got the lava lamp, but I so yeah, but because I had gotten out of juvie and I was in this, bad home, and also the people that I had also jumped back into were the same people that I was with when I first went in, except now that I was 17, I'm no longer a kid, right? I'm no longer just running around being a menace with my mates. So I started actually doing work. I won't get into specifics in case anyone sees this video or something, but I started doing work and doing really bad things for money. So from here, I'm thinking to myself, if I keep going down this path of what I'm doing, then because even when I first got out of juvie, I won't get into details, but I think it was the first week I got out. I pretty much did the exact same thing that I went in for, if you guys understand what I mean. So, and I was thinking to myself, I'm doing all this bad stuff. My life, I have no family connection. I'm fully disconnected from my family. I have no purpose in life. Even everything about it is not good. So I thought to myself, like, I need religion in my life to give me some sort of morality and some guidance, because I had just never had guidance in my life. So, of course, because the only people I knew, I didn't know any Muslims. The only religion I knew was Christianity. So I started looking into that. But I'll be honest, I made a video on my Instagram, and everyone got very mad at me when I made this video. But I was basically, this is literally all I said. I said that I looked into Christianity and I looked into Islam and I chose Islam. That's all I said. And everyone got very, very mad at me and upset. And they was like, oh, this, how can this white guy be a Muslim? Oh, this is so terrible. They really don't like it when they see someone so white and so Muslim. It really bothers them. But yeah, so I made that video, and what I said was, like, over 2 years I looked into these things, and I looked into Christianity. I'll be honest, I'm gonna looked into might be a too much of a strong word. Like I did look into it, and I do know a fair amount. Like I can hold my own when I argue with other faiths and this and that. But when I was first looking into religion, honestly, I didn't get that far into it when I thought to myself, yeah, nah, this isn't for me. Long story short, without being too disrespectful or anything like that. So then, but because of that, I remember that led me to a debate with Muhammad Hijab and David Wood. You know Muhammad Hijab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was watching their debate, and then I was thinking to myself, like, dang, that this guy is pretty intelligent. Like everything he's saying, he has evidence for, and he can back it up, and he's not just rambling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then, from that interview, it led me to, sorry, not interview, debate. From that debate, it led me to another debate where it was in between, versus Muhammad Hijab and biologists, like scientists. And bear in mind, this was my worldview. Like I had been taught in school that, you know, my great thousandth granddad is a centipede. Like, you know, this is what I had been taught since a very young age. So watching him dismantle the biologist's views and everything that he's saying, and actually coming with evidence for what he's saying, and I was thinking to myself, like, dang, this guy's kind of making sense, you know? And like the biologists are sitting there and they don't know what to say. They're like, oh yeah, we don't really know, but because we don't know, you don't know. It's just talking a load of rubbish. So that's what got me looking into Islam. And then I spent like 2 years from that point. Now I was interested in Islam. I spent like 2 years from that point getting my life together. I cut off everybody I knew that was bad. I wasn't doing work for that kind of work anymore. I had got myself into work. It wasn't. Oh, are we back? Okay, we're back. It wasn't the most halal job. Like I was working in security for your imagination can work it out. But I was working in security, and I had reconnected with my family. I was now living with my parents again. Not both parents, but obviously, but one of my parents' houses, and I was cool with the other parent. I had reconnected with them. Now I had family, and over this period, I wasn't like heavily researching Islam. Like I wasn't like getting notebooks out or anything, but I was slowly learning more and more about it because I was interested in it.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was at a point where I was like 3/4 of the way through the Quran, and one of the guys at my work, he was a Muslim, probably not the best job for a Muslim, but he was Muslim, and we had a work due. Now everybody on we had a work due, and the work due was on a boat. It was like a boat party, and everybody on the boat was drinking alcohol. But because I was super into my fitness and he was Muslim, we were the only two not drinking, so we were the only two sober. And because even before I was Muslim, honestly, I never got into drugs. I didn't even eat pork. I didn't drink alcohol, like, because all this stuff, I was super into my fitness and I knew it was bad for me, so I never got into it. So we were the only two that were sober, and because we were hanging out the whole time, we talked about Islam. Pretty much not the whole trip, but a good portion of it. And when I expressed to him that I was reading the Quran, he said to me, "Oh, why don't you come to Jummah and pray with us?" So I was like, "Okay, cool." So I went to Jummah. I went like 3-4 times. Apparently, I found this out the other night. If you're not a Muslim, you shouldn't like pray in the middle. You should like pray off the side because you break.
Yeah.
You kind of break it up. So, but I don't know at the time, so I get a free pass. And so I went to Jummah like 3-4 times. On my fourth or fifth time, sorry, I took my shahada, and then from there it's just been a journey of, obviously I'm a revert from a pretty reckless background. It's just over time, like my love for Allah has grown.
Yeah.
So over this year and a half, the more time I've been in this religion, the more my heart has grown for Allah. So then, literally everything that I was doing before is gone now.
Yeah.
Completely. Like if you told the person that when he first took his shahada where like I would be now, he wouldn't believe me. But yeah, that's my story.
Yeah.
For anyone, I hope people were interested in that.
It's very interesting. Like I like the part how you said that, like even before you were Muslim, like you didn't engage in, for example, drinking alcohol, etc., and like drugs and stuff. That really goes to show that like Allah is the greatest of all planners. It says in the Quran, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They plan and Allah is the blessed of planners. It reminded me of the story of the Prophet ﷺ, back before he got his prophecy. Back before he got his prophecy, they were having this gathering with the Quraysh and stuff, and a group of them, they went to, like the group that the Prophet ﷺ was with, they went to go party, dance, drink alcohol, etc., whatnot. And then, because the Prophet is the Prophet, or he will be the Prophet, Allah has his way of protecting him. What did he do? He was busy, he was tired that day after grazing the sheep and everything, and then he fell asleep under the tree, and then when everyone finished the partying, they came back, and they woke him up, and they said, look, you missed the party. But again, Allah has greater plans. Allah knows that he's going to be a prophet. Allah has that plan for him, hence why he kept him away from such gatherings. So that's exactly what Allah done for you as well, subhanAllah. It's a blessing in disguise. We don't know it at the time until we realize later.
Alhamdulillah.
I was gonna say, listening to your story, it's it could be very heavy. It could be traumatizing. But subhanallah, would you say, or what in Islam did you, or has Islam healed your traumas from the past? Would you say?
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not really one of those people that was like, oh, my dog died when I was, like I really wasn't like that anyway. So I won't lie. But as terms of how my how do I say this? I would call it contentment. How content I was.
Yeah.
Either, before I was Muslim, I was either extremely happy or, extremely, extremely depressed. There was no contentment about my life. There was no higher power. Everything was me, 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 me. Like, when it came to money, everything's me, 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 me. Give to charity. Why would I do that? What am I getting out and giving to charity? This was my mindset before. But now I know my purpose in life, and I see. Sorry, guys, I have 7% battery, so if I 5%, so if I disappear, that is why. But yeah, I'll try to wrap this up quick. So, I what was I saying? Oh yes, now I know my purpose in life, and this is what I try to say. Like when it comes to like nitty gritty things, Am I being too loud? Okay. With the masjid tonight. So I hope I'm not waking the brothers up. Anyway, now I know my purpose in life, and you realize that everything you're doing in this lifetime is setting you up.
I think this is phone dead.
Or well, I try to explain to people when it comes to like nitty gritty stuff in our religion, like, oh, why can't I listen to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B? This is so hard for me. But it's like you need to think about what are Walaikum salam. You need to think about why are you here? Like this life is literally setting you up for the afterlife. Why are you worried about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B? You know what I mean? Like this everything in this life is setting you up for the hereafter. So now, even when it comes to all my problems, everything, the only one I turn to is Allah. Honestly, I do not ask people for anything anymore. before I was Muslim, I was like, oh, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me to every second person? But now the only person I turn to is Allah. And when you do this, you realize Allah is literally, He's the only one that can provide for you. Even if you ask someone for something and they give you it, He's the one that has given you that. So to answer your question, because I know I rambled a bit there, but it's I would say I'm content now, and I know my purpose in life, and I know where I'm going, and I know my mission, and I don't have problems anymore because I believe in divine decree, and I know that this was all written for me, and everything that happens is because Allah wrote this for me. So I'm very content with my.
That's it. Before we wrap it up, because I know your phone's about to die, what's probably one lesson that you have probably, yeah, because what's lesson that you probably learned that you would want to teach others?
What's your name, bro? Caiden.
Caiden, nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
I'm local, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
I'll be back. I'll be back next Friday.
Inshallah, bro. Where you from?
I go Mount Roscoe Masjid.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah. But we'll have a feed next time.
Inshallah, bro.
Inshallah. Yeah.
No, nice to meet you, brother. Bilal?
Okay.
Yeah, nice to meet you. From Afghanistan.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they're from Afghanistan.
Okay, sorry guys.
Just for reference, we have a Bilal here from Afghanistan as well.
What's that Eminem song?
No, all good.
There's a million of us like me.
Yeah. Now, inshallah, we'll quickly do the wrap up now before your phone dies.
Okay.
So what would be one lesson that you would want others to learn?
Sorry guys.
No, all good. Well, what would be one lesson that you'd like to teach others that you have learned just in general from your revision?
I would say for people that wanting to accept Islam, one thing for me is because I wasn't the most perfect New Zealand citizen before I accepted Islam, I thought to myself, man, I need to be, if all my sins are going to be forgiven, because at that point I truly believed Islam was the truth, and I truly believed if I accept Islam, all my sins are going to be forgiven. And one hurdle for me was I'm not perfect, and I'm doing all this bad stuff, and if I'm going to accept Islam and all my sins are forgiven, and then I'm going to go do something again the next day. And I had this mindset of I need to stop sinning to accept Islam. And one thing that I will say to the day I die is you need to accept Islam to stop sinning, not the other way around. So you do not need to stop sinning to accept Islam. You need Islam in your life to stop sinning. Would be my closing
statement.
Caiden 2025.
No, it was good speaking to you, bro. Honestly, if it wasn't for your phone, we would have continued discussion.
Yeah, we can do something again when I'm.
Inshallah, if we can do a part 2, get more into it. But it was good having you on, bro.
Very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Inshallah, when we come to New Zealand, we'll definitely come and see you.
100%,
Inshallah.
100%.
Oh, inshallah.
Bro,
If you ever come to Australia, let us know. We'll do something in person, inshallah.
Yeah. You guys are Brisbane.
No,
Sydney.
Sydney. Okay.
Yeah, just let us know, inshallah.
Sounds good. Inshallah.
All right.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan, bro. We'll speak to you soon, inshallah.
Thank you guys so much. I'll say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.